Today's story is from Colin Rowan, who has worked at the Multnomah County Drainage District since 2015. Before working at Multnomah County Drainage District, he worked on various regional and international transportation planning projects. He's originally from Massachusetts.
My name is Colin Rowan, and I'm the Levee Ready Columbia Program Director. Levee Ready Columbia is a multi-party collaborative, so there's more than 26 different community partners that have all come together to look at the area behind the levees and think in more of a future cast about what this area is and has been, but also thinking about what it can be. I help coordinate all those efforts. The current system we have is somewhat old school, but the pumps that we do have, we have some backup in there, so there's some redundancy built into it. But I think where we have huge opportunity is to build in green infrastructure, different ways to actually manage water before it even gets to the pump station, so therefore they're not working as hard.
In addition to thinking about improving resilience, Colin has helped in responding to a few emergencies, including some localized flooding events.
So in 2015, did a presidentially declared disaster. So we moved into 24-hour operations at that point. I was part of the group that did some of the nighttime patrols. So basically going along some of the small back channels of the slough and all the ditches and making sure that those were clear. We went to a few of the pump stations and cleared the debris. Ditches were up really high. We went and helped in probably the most residential of our 4 districts. There was somebody's backyard and it was flooding. It wasn't anything that we were worried about actually creating major damage, but you could definitely see how it wouldn't take too much more water for an internal event to either overwhelm some of the pump stations or cause greater issues. And then we've had a couple high water events on the Columbia River that required some emergency repairs in the following weeks just to stabilize the structure. So that's when you're like, oh, well, this was a pretty minor event, especially when you look at how high the Columbia has been, even in 1996, how much higher it was than in 2017. So yeah, give a little bit of perspective.
In 1996, the last major flood event in Portland, the Columbia River reached within about 3 feet of the top of the levee. The Willamette River was also very close to overtopping the city of Portland's downtown seawall.
There's many faces to this area. You know, there's 59,000 people that work behind the levees. It's a huge economic generator for our area. A lot of the jobs offer on-site training so people can come in. They don't even have to have like a high school degree and they can get on-the-job training and move up, and most of them are pretty decent jobs. And then there's all the transportation corridors going through here. So it's just this nexus that I never really thought about before I started working here. Rode my bike through here, I drove through here, I went to the airport, but it never really sunk in about how important it is to our region. Even for people that live and work behind the levees, they don't even know that they are there, so they don't have a plan. It's just an awareness thing to have a plan, and that you have some responsibility if you live and work behind the levee to be able to evacuate and make things safer.
Colin shares about an important place to him within the districts that symbolizes the Vanport flood that took place in 1948. The flood destroyed the city of Vanport, left over 18,000 people without a home, and took the lives of more than a dozen. It also flooded the Portland airport and numerous other properties behind the levees. It is the most devastating flood since MCDD was formed in 1917.
I have been in the Portland metropolitan area for about 11 years and have just gotten to know sort of all the quiet places. Spent a lot of time doing tours and bringing people around and kind of showing them what's special in the area. There is a section that is along the railroad embankment, which is a pretty powerful place to be anyways, because that's where the Vanport flood took place. So you walk past that, you can actually see where it was repaired.
Thanks for listening to a part of Colin's story. To find out more about the Portland Metropolitan Levee System, please visit www.mcdd.org/life along the Columbia.